very, very warm welcome, as always, to yet another fascinating episode of this Influence of the Time series that I'm doing. So a very special warm welcome to you, and for those of you who are watching for the very first time, as I say every time, for those of you that are watching for the first time, if you've never watched anything like this before, a very special warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me, Influence of the Times. And for those of you that have been watching, for those of you that have watched a number of my episodes, for those of you that have maybe watched just once or twice and you've come back today, a very special warm welcome to you. So thank you so much to everybody, to you all, for watching this live episode in our next fascinating location in this Influence of the Time series. And just very, very briefly, for those of you that have never watched anything like this before, if you're wondering what all this is about, whether you're watching this live on Facebook or whether you're watching this on my YouTube channel, Influences of Times, if you're wondering what all this is about, basically this is a live social media documentary where I will be taking you personally into each and every single possible abandoned and derelict location that I can possibly find in the whole of the United Kingdom. So I will be taking you to every nook and every cranny and into every corner of the UK in search of Britain's most abandoned and derelict places, not only to take the photographs, but to take you personally into each and every place so that you can see exactly what each place looks like in its current state. So, for those of you that maybe you've watched before, and I can see one or two people tuning in already, very special warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining me as we go in search of these fascinating places. And as you can tell, just by looking behind me, we are in our next location, and all will be revealed in a second, so just bear with me. For those of you that have been watching, and even if this, even if you've only watched once or twice, you may or may not have seen that within the last 2 weeks. It's probably about 2 weeks ago now. We were in Sheffield, so we went to Steel City and we visited two of Sheffield's most notorious and well-known abandoned and derelict locations. The first one that we did was Hallam Tower Hotel, which is a very well-known and notorious location, and there's obviously lots and lots of different photographs on the internet, and there's been a lot of investigations and a lot of urban explorations into Hallam Tower Hotel. And then in the same day, a bit later, a couple of hours later, we went to Sheffield Abandoned Ski Village, which was probably one of the most, it was fascinating, even though there wasn't a lot to see. And obviously for those of you that watched that episode, you probably know anyway, but it still was fascinating in the sense that it was actually the first and one of Europe's largest dry ski slope villages in the whole of Europe. And it was just fascinating to be there. And obviously now it's been reduced down to 2 slopes, or barely 2 slopes at all actually, and there's actually nothing much there apart from fly tipping and everything else. So if you cast your minds back, that was the last episode we did. So we did episode 25, which was the Hallam Tower Hotels, and episode 26 was the Sheffield Ski Village, or kind of ski resort, so to speak. So I've actually got some more time off work, which is obviously why this broadcast is reaching you, and I'm conscious of the fact that this broadcast is getting towards the later part of the afternoon, and the reason for that being was because I have literally spent about an hour and a half to 2 hours alone in this place taking photographs. So, as always, all the photographs that I've taken, not so much outside, and there is a purpose and a reason for that, and I'll explain in a minute, but I've taken lots and lots of photographs inside this location today. And all the photographs, along with this broadcast, will be on my personal Facebook page, as well as my Influence of the Times Facebook page. And obviously this broadcast will be later on YouTube, on the Influence of the Times YouTube channel. And also all the photographs along with the information about this place will be on my website, which is www.canondronephotography.co.uk. I've had a bit of a jiggle about, obviously I spent some time on my website just kind of tidying it up a little bit. So the Influence of the Times page is now on the home page of the website, so it's a lot easier to find. So if you log into the website, or say log in, if you go to the website itself, the Influence of the Times heading is right there on the home page, and you can click on there and it will give you every single place that we've been to right from the start, from episode 1 right up until today. So today's broadcast is going to be slightly different for a number of reasons. So let me kind of tell you why, and then we'll go and carry on. Okay, so I'm just trying to I don't want to rattle too fast. I don't want to go too quick because I want to give other people a chance to tune in as well. And I'm not going to scroll to one side because I just want to see who is watching across the bottom, because there's a reason for that as well. So, one of the reasons why this broadcast is going to be slightly different is because I'm not actually going to give you any information about this particular location. And normally I would kind of give you the historical information. Now I'm not going to do that today simply because there is quite a lot to see. Now I wouldn't say there's a lot of artifacts, but there is quite a lot to see in this place. And I'm just consciously aware that by the time I give you the information first and then we go and do the exploration side of it, we're going to be talking about an hour. So I'm going to cut that bit out altogether. Now, I have done some research about this place, but I'm going to keep it possibly towards the end. Now, don't worry too much if I don't give any of the historical information about this place, because there will be a short kind of snippet, if you like, on my Facebook page later today, along with all the photographs, so you'll have a rough idea, but then all the more in-depth information about this place will be on my website. Okay, so if you want to really know more about this place, if you go to my website, click on the Influence of the Times, and there will be a heading, and then under there will be the more in-depth information. But I thought I would do things slightly different. Now, I'm consciously aware of the fact that these broadcasts have kind of been more or less pretty much the same. They're kind of like the same format. You know, I do my talking bit, my blabby bit, and then we go and kind of explore. But I thought it would be a little bit more interesting for you if I didn't do any talking and kind of, or say, a little bit of talking, and then we just went and explored, because I'm sure that's probably what you want to see more than anything else. So that's one of the reasons why this broadcast is slightly different. Another reason why this broadcast is slightly different from the others that I've done, I'm not actually going to give you the exact place of where we are today. Now, I'm going to give you a vague idea. Okay, now I mean literally very, very vague, and there's a reason for that. Today's broadcast was actually going to be from a different location altogether. In fact, we were going to be in Huddersfield today. Okay, now that's not where we am, okay, but we were going to be in Huddersfield today, and I was going to be broadcasting you from an abandoned and a derelict location. I'm not going to name it, and there's a reason for that too. Within the last 2 weeks, I found out that that location was deliberately set on fire, okay, as with many of the locations that we've been to, and I'm going to take you to one or two locations this year that have been deliberately set on fire to the point where there's practically nothing left, because I just want you to see, and I'm sure you could probably Google for yourselves anyway, but I want to give you a live broadcast from somewhere that has been deliberately set on fire, and I just want to give you an idea of what arson looks like, to the point where it's absolutely completely wiped that place for good. And I'm going to put some comparison photographs together. I'm going to put some before and after, so that you can see for yourselves the kind of damage that people cause when they cause arson and when they deliberately set fire to places. So, as you can imagine, much to my kind of disheartenment, if you like, we are not at that place today. Now, there's a number of reasons why. One, there's only, the clock tower is the only part of it that survived, as well as the outside wall. So the whole place has been absolutely, totally demolished, wiped out by fire. Not demolished manually, but arson demolished. I mean, there is nothing left apart from, like I said, the clock tower and the perimeter wall, and that is it, which is such a shame, because it would have made it would have made a fascinating broadcast. There would have been lots to see. It was a huge location, so it would have been a really, really interesting episode for yourselves. Secondly, it's far too dangerous there now because of the fire damage. It is now far too dangerous for me to do a broadcast from there. Okay, so it would just be too dangerous, because we're literally just looking at an outside wall which could collapse at any time, so it's far too dangerous. And thirdly, now that it has been set on fire, or should I say now that it's completely been wiped out by fire, the place is even more secure than it was before. So before it was accessible, but now for security and safety reasons, it is now inaccessible. So I've decided to bring you here instead. And the reason why I'm not going to name today's location is because I want to, out of if you like, not so much for security purposes, but to keep this place secure, in the sense of there is no indication of any deliberate fire or arson damage in this place. And so I think it's only fair that, to protect the identity of this place, I'm not going to name it. Now, I'm sure there's lots of you that are watching that are probably never going to get here anyway, and I think because I'm doing broadcast, you never know who watches these, but also because this is going onto YouTube and if you like, aired to the world, it's possible that somebody could potentially come here, and now specifically that I've said that there isn't any arson damage here, could give them more of a potential reason to come here and cause fire damage. So for the not so much the safety, but to keep the identity of this place safe and secure, and to protect the identity of this place, because it would be an absolute shame for somebody to come here and deliberately set fire to this place, because there is a lot to see. Not so much in the sense of artifacts, although there is a couple that I'm going to show you a bit later, but to protect the identity of this place. I think it would be unfair for me to name it and for somebody to come here and deliberately set fire, because it would be such a shame, because places like this are very quickly being demolished anyway to make way for redevelopment and expansion and all the rest of it. And it's such a shame when people deliberately set fire to places like this and just leave it burning, and it's just burnt to the ground and it's gone forever. Which, as you well know, this place is probably going to be demolished at some point anyway. But I would rather protect this place and for it to be demolished for good, I must say for good reason, yeah, I suppose for good reason, rather than name it and it be demolished by vandals and theft and fire and arson and everything else. Because not only does it get rid of these places, but it's also the safety and security of the people who have to tend the fire in the first place, the fire officers, the firemen, and all the services and the public and everything else. So I'm not going to do that today, okay? So just to clarify, I'm not going to name the identity of this place because I want to protect it. And this will be one of the first places that I've been to that I've actually protected the name of. Now, had there been like Hallam Towers, for instance, there's nothing left to burn anyway. But because there's stuff here, I just want to protect it. So that's another reason why this broadcast is going to be slightly different. Now, another thing I want to do slightly differently, now I can see a couple of people watching, and you may or may not want to do anything, I don't know, but I don't usually ask for people to say hi. Now obviously I can see across the bottom when people are watching, but if there is anybody watching this broadcast, either now or in a little while, who wants to say hello, and if you want me to just kind of call your name out or just kind of say hi to you personally and make this a bit more of a personal broadcast, then you're more than welcome to. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. But I just thought I would kind of make it a bit more interesting for you, if you like. So if you want to say hi, if you want to say hello, please just type across the bottom, just send a message. And I can kind of say hello to you personally in a way. Obviously I can see who's watching, but obviously if you would like me to say hi for any reason, if you just would like me to, then you're more than welcome to. So that's what I was going to do with this broadcast. So just to give you a very vague idea as to where I am. Now this is really vague and it's probably not really going to help you anyway, but I just want to protect this place, so I'm going to be extremely vague. So we've come roughly about 85 miles away from Birmingham. Now I'm not even going to say which direction, because that will give you an indication of roughly where we might be. So we're about 85 miles away from Birmingham. Okay, so we're away from Birmingham altogether, and like I said, I'm not going to give you an indication of which direction we're in, whether we're north, south, east, west or anything else, because that would kind of narrow it down a bit. Now the only thing I'm going to say is that we are in an abandoned mill. That's it. I'm not going to say where we am, I'm not going to say where we're close to, I'm not going to give any indication whatsoever, because I want to protect the identity of this place. So we are in an abandoned mill. Okay. Now I know that's nothing really much for you to go on, however, like I said, I will put a tiny snippet along with photographs today to give you a little bit of information, although I'm not going to name this place, and on my website will be more information, and in depth if you like, the more historical information about this mill. But again, I'm going to leave the name out because I want to protect the identity. So it is kind of different in a way, and hopefully you'll appreciate the kind of difference in today's broadcast in wanting to protect the identity. Okay, and there may well be other places that we go to that I'm going to be doing the same. So we'll see how it goes. So, as I mentioned, I can see lots of people watching now. So if anybody wants to say hi, please feel free to say hello, and I will call your name out, or I will say hello to you personally. If not, that's absolutely fine. So for the next hour or so, sit back, relax, and enjoy this next journey in the Influences of the Times series. So without further ado, welcome to episode 27. So this will be episode 27 in the Influences of the Times series at an abandoned mill. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to stop yapping and I'm going to give you a look about. I'm not going to give you the information, so to speak. I'm not really going to be able to point things out too much, but I'm going to give you a good look about, okay, and you can roughly see anyway, because there is a lot to see. So I'm going to pick you up, and I'm just going to adjust this. Just going to adjust now. This, I have to say, this is probably, now every place that I go to is fascinating anyway, but this, for a mill, is something else. Okay, now like I said, there is a lot to see. Okay, so we've come, if you like, towards the rear of the mill. Okay, so there is a chimney here. Okay, so the chimney is still intact, and you'll be able to see it in a minute. But we are towards the rear of the mill. Okay, and we are. So I'm just trying to hold I've got like a charger charging my phone at the same time. So if I move it away, you can kind of see where I kind of walked up from. Look at these things here. We've got rows of these great big, obviously like they're not. I presume they would be for like steam rather than anything else. Rather than holding a liquid, I would imagine these are probably like for steam. I wouldn't have thought for gas, because obviously a mill of this age wouldn't necessarily be run on gas. So I'm thinking more steam. But look at these. We're going to walk down here, so just bear with me now. I understand that this may not be. I'm just consciously aware of the fact, because I've given you information whatsoever. You're kind of just looking, but I just want you to see. And like I said, I just think it's best if I keep the identity of this place protected. But these massive, great big, huge things here, look. They're like, I said, they're like steam generators or like steam chambers or something. You've got the great big metal wheels to obviously control the pressure. You've got drain. Now I'm thinking there's actually the River Derwent actually runs under some of this mill, so I'm wondering if this had something to do with maybe water. May well have been, I'm not sure. But there is literally rows and rows of them. So let's take a walk down there. I'm going to walk backwards so that you can see. I'm going to try and hold you up a bit as well, but you can get an idea. So we're at the back of the mill, towards the rear of the mill, and you've got all these different massive things. So I was right, so it's for water. So you've got wash water inlet, it's got written on there. Obviously it's back to front on yours, but it says wash water inlet. So these are all water pressure kind of drums, or big massive tanks. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's like 5 on either side, so there's like 10 in a row. So we'll go all the way to the back, and you can kind of just see where we are, but you can get an idea of where we are. Absolutely brilliant. Now on this one we've got the gauge. Obviously it's back to front on your phone. I think it is anyway. So you've got rate of flow, 1,000 gallons per hour. So yeah, this is to do with water. And there's the inlet and the outlet. You've got these massive, great big metal wheels that would have controlled the water gauge, or the water flow, if you like. So I'm assuming this would have taken water from the River Derwent, which runs just over there, and it runs underneath this mill. So we're at the back, so you can kind of just get an idea. There's not much, I mean, you can see we're right at the back. There's lots of these on the walls and different electrical panels and stuff. But you can kind of get an idea. So we're right at the back now. And then if I show you, if I come over this way, we've got like a big generator and a big tank there. And if you look, we'll walk back through the middle, so we'll go back that way. But you can kind of get an idea of what it's like in here. That's obviously, sorry, so there's literally just stuff everywhere. So you can kind of get it. It's almost like a barn, but you've got these great big things. So how's about we go and look some more, because there is a lot to see. I'm actually glad that we came here. It was a shame, like I said, that I couldn't take you to the other mill, but this one was kind of made up for it. So for those of you watching, welcome to episode 27. We're at an abandoned mill, obviously in the UK, but I'm not going to name it because I want to protect the identity of this place. because the place we were supposed to go to today has been completely ruined by arson. I just want to protect this place. So for those of you who are watching that didn't catch that, I'm not going to name this mill because I want to protect its identity. Okay, and even when I put it on Facebook and on my YouTube channel, I'm not going to name anything. Okay, so I want to protect it because there is no fire damage at all, and I want to keep it that way because I think it's only fair. So I could just give you a look about, as you can kind of see. It's got all of them down there, and if you look behind us, you've got little flight steps, and you've got panels behind us there. Okay, so that's kind of what's in here. So let's go outside, and then we'll go down the flight of steps, and we'll go into the other parts. So I'll just give you one more look, so you can kind of see. You can see the graffiti. Isn't that? Some of the graffiti in this places are amazing, just absolutely amazing. And just up there, look, it's just like an open floor area. So you can kind of see there. So we're now outside. So you can probably see there's a chimney just there. So we're now outside. So we're now going to go downstairs because you have to come up a flight of steps to come up to this part. Now I just want to give you a look because I really do want to show you as much as I can. So look behind me. So here we am. So you've got the great big massive, obviously that's like a water tank that would have held all the water, which would then pump it into those other tanks in there. So that's behind us. That's where we were just a minute ago. So that's where all the tanks are lined up inside there. Okay, just in there. There's your chimney, just there. And then we are going to go down the flight of steps. Don't worry, we're not going to jump and we're not going to fall. There's a flight of steps there, you can see. And we're going to go down that alleyway and we're just going to take a look down that way. Alright, so that's to kind of give you an idea. Let's go have a look. Let's go take a look. I can see somebody's put awesome place. It is absolutely an awesome place. I have taken more pictures in this one place than I think I've taken anywhere. It is absolutely brilliant here. Let's just go around the back here because I just want to take it kind of around the back. I just want to show you the river because the river actually runs underneath. So let's go. So we are now at the foot of the tower. There, look. So we're now staying underneath pretty much. So I'm just checking a bit. There you go. It's a bit better. So let's just go around here. So we're going to take a look as much of the place as we can, so don't worry too much. So we're now walking kind of, this is like around the back. Okay, so we're going to go just round here. Nope. So we've got like a little room, there's like a little motor. And then next door, you can't really see it, but next door there's like another little generator in there and like bits and bobs and stuff there. And this is right at the back, so you can see how the river runs underneath this location. So it runs right underneath it. So this was an important energy source, if you like, for this place. So it runs and it gets there and it goes underneath. Okay? So I'll give you an idea. So you can kind of see how it's kind of running underneath it. Let's go and have a look inside. So let's go round this way. So we're now entering from the back. So we've come from up there. Remember, that's from up there. So come down the flight steps, around the bottom of here, show you the river. Now we're going to go to the back and show you through this way because there was a lot to see. Right, here we go. So we're now standing in here. Now a lot of it is just going to be me showing you because, as I mentioned, this broadcast is different in the sense that I'm not going to give you the historical information. I thought I'd do today slightly different. So I'm hoping you find this interesting just looking. But we can see we're in this huge, great big, almost like warehouse area. It's quite big because you've got like these almost like pits. And I'm wondering if these filled up with water. I'm not sure. Maybe not. I don't know. Possibly not. Sorry, signal. I'm hoping it's not going to... We're here. hopefully it'll stay. Right, I've moved away from where we were. So that was like a kind of big, almost like warehouse, if you like. And they were like pits. The reason why I said I wondered if there was water in them is because the soil or the mud, there's like really almost like silty mud at the bottoms, and I just wondered if they were used to be filled with water. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's like a quite kind of like a big warehouse area. And you had like two, I think we saw about two kind of like almost like pits in there. So we've come away because the ceiling kept breaking, and it's kind of ticking over nicely. So I want to keep it that way. So we've come to the next warehouse. So we were next door. And it's a little bit breaky, but we were in there. So we've come to the next one. Now see these white walls? Each of these white walls have got a label on it. You can see on the wall there. And they've got different chemicals or different... So these are like little storage, if you like, little storage pits. So that one had polysulfidite, that had hydrogen peroxide. The next one down had caustic soda, and they've all got chemical, you can see like the chemical signs. So these were used to store the different chemicals in each of these kind of little pits, if you like. Or little bays, just there. You've got that one there. You've got nice little things like this in here, little trolleys and stuff. Okay, so we come back. So that's where we came from in that far corner there. You've got the old-fashioned scale. See the scale still here? Just there. And then you've got in there is an office. Now I've got to take you in there because it's quite wet and drippy with water and stuff, but I've taken photographs in there along with lots of stuff today. But that's kind of like an office. So I'm pointing to it actually, there's a trolley there. There's lots of filing cabinets and tables and stuff laying down on the sides and stuff in there. And then you've got the green pin board just there, look. Just on the wall. And underneath it, I think it says no smoking. Just under there. And then that's where your fire extinguishers would have been, just on the wall. So yeah, it's kind of like a little glass office. Just there, look, you can see it. Okay. Nice little filing cabinet there. The drawer's still open. And then if you look behind us, you can see how big, and I want to give you a good look, you can see how big this warehouse is. You can kind of get an idea how big it is. It's quite big. So let's go over that way. I'm just hoping the signal's going to break. So I'm just going to walk over this way with you. So let's go this way. Okay, so these to me look like almost like furnaces or heaters. So in each one, see if I lift it up a bit. There, look. And above each one, you've got like dials and stuff. So I'm wondering if that was kind of like a heater, almost like a furnace. And you've got a couple of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 7 or 8 in a row. And you can kind of see, if I move the camera, you can kind of see them all lined up just there. And they've all got like pressure gauges and stuff above each door. So I'm wondering if they were... I don't think it would have been... okay, I'm just looking. Sorry, I'm just looking at... If you look, just up there, it says steam and water. So maybe it was a steam kind of chamber, or like a high pressure steam. So yeah, or like a steam and heat, maybe. But that's what they are. They are all like almost like furnaces that go up along there. And if I walk this way with you, you'll see what I mean about the graffiti. You see them? See that? If I walk this way, look. So you've got a purple one, a green one, a pink one. But you can see them just there. If I pan the camera that way, that's the rest of them up there, look. So you can see there's quite a few in a row. So I just want to give you a good look. See that? That is like a big tumble dryer, almost like a washing machine tumble dryer. And we'll go up to it in a minute. There's a big drum inside, and obviously that was used to spin, I don't know, ingredients or something maybe. I don't know. I'm hopeless sometimes at these things, but we'll have a look in a minute anyway. But that's what we're looking at. So you're looking at like furnaces running along here. And you can kind of see, if I just give you a good look, you can kind of see what it's like. So it's quite big. So there's like your where the chemicals were in there. So that's the glass office that we're looking at in a minute, and that's where we came from. Just in that far corner over there. So it's quite big. Let's go down this way and have a look at this great big kind of like tumble dryer thing. It's what it reminds me of. It's like a big tumble dryer. So have a look at that. See what I mean? It's like a big, you can see it just about turns. It's just like a great big drum. So you've got reverse, non-reverse. You've got obviously stop and start. So obviously this was used to mix, or maybe it was used to like break down components, like maybe it was used to break down ingredients of some kind. So it was kind of used to do that. I don't know. But that is what that is. You can see it. That great big washing machine. Jumbo sized. The mother of all washing machines, really. That's it. And that's an old one. I mean, obviously this place is old. I can assure you, very old. And then as we look at the back wall, you can see we've got all the different electrical buttons and stuff as well, running across there. So that's kind of what's in here. And I want to keep kind of showing you the same thing, but I just want to give you one more look so you can kind of just see. So there's the tumble dryer. And you can see, like I said, it's a great big place. And there's all the furnaces running down the side there. It's a fascinating place. Absolutely brilliant place. And I am so glad that I've protected the name of this place, and I'm so glad that nobody has destroyed this place deliberately by arson, because there's no need to. Because why would you want to? This is history in the making. I mean, well, I say in the making, but you should understand what I mean. This is history. You know, people worked here. You know, people may have worked all their lives here. You know, this is part of the local community. This means something. And I just think there is such a shame when people come along and deliberately set fire to these places, because it obliterates all that. Even though you've got the memories, it's not the point. It's still here, and that's the way I want to keep it. So, but it's a real privilege, if you like, to kind of come to these places and walk where people have walked, and you know they live locally, so this is part of their livelihood, childhood, or whatever. You know, maybe they had a mum or dad who worked here. I don't know, but it means something. I just hate it when people set fire to these places deliberately, so I'm so glad that I've protected the name of this place. Let's go into this little room here. We have just a little kind of office. So you've got a little rack here, and you've got like a little, almost like a little shelving unit, and it's got lots of little bits and bobs, like bits of pipe and nuts and bolts and odds and ends and stuff there. And I just want to clarify as well, whenever I come to these places, a bit like today, there are some artifacts here. And I just want to clarify that under no circumstances do I ever come into these places and steal or take any of the artifacts, simply because it wouldn't be right. When you do these kind of things and you come into these places out of courtesy and respect, I think it is only right that you should come in and, yes, photograph and document it, but under no circumstances do I ever steal or take anything from any of these places, because that just wouldn't be right. Because those items, they could have been put there by anybody, but especially the things that actually belong here. So I just want to clarify that under no circumstances do I ever take any memorabilia or anything from any of these places, because that just wouldn't be right, and that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this simply because I want to document these places before they're lost and gone forever. At some point this place will go, but I want it to go for the right reasons and by the right people and not the wrong people. So I just want to clarify that. Getting quite heavy today, aren't I? Okay, so we've got we've just got some toilets. So can I just very quickly say, if there's anybody watching today who wants to say hi, please say hi, okay? Just to say, and one or two people I've just watched in the last couple of minutes, I'm not going to name the name of this place, okay? So we are in an abandoned mill, and I'm going to roughly guess about 80 miles or so away from Birmingham. I'm not going to say where we am, and I'm not going to name this place, simply because I want to protect the identity of this place, because the place that I was originally going to go in Huddersfield, I believe, has been deliberately set on fire by arson, and it's far too dangerous to go there. In fact, there's nothing to see now, and it would be far too dangerous to go there to broadcast from anyway. It would be even more unsafe. So we've come here instead. We've come to an abandoned mill, and I'm protecting the name and the identity of this place. Okay, so I'm not giving any information about where we are specifically, and I haven't given any of the historical information that I normally would. I'm going to leave that until my website, but again, I'm not going to name this place. Okay, so I just want to, for those of you that are watching the last couple of minutes, but if you want to say hi, please say hi. Okay, so we've got some toilets, hand dryer. Okay, that's all. Let's keep going. Let's go to the next one. Now we're going to have to go. Yeah, we're going to have to go back where we. into this one. This is where we lost the signal. We came up. So you see what I mean about the pits? Thank you. Do you want me to say? My sister's just put something very nice on Facebook on this live broadcast. She's put, keep up your amazing work. So very proud of you, little bro. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for that. That's brilliant. And it's comments like that that really do make all the difference to me. So thank you so much. And a very big hello to you. Thank you for watching. So we've got these kind of pits, if you like, on the floor. So this is where we were. And we've got like another glass officey bit at the top there. Look, just there. So in here, we've got quite a few of these kind of like cranes or like, see these like rigging coming down. You've got like, remember the little handheld buttons that you press? Go up and down. So there's a couple. There's one here. I'm assuming there would have been one. In fact, this one is on a track, so it can run between the three. And then we've got another yellow one that can run up and down that track there. But that's all that's in here, okay? And I just want to get to the other bits first. Well, not first, but I want to make it interesting. I don't want to keep making this boring. Sorry. See what I mean? So that's where we are. So that's where we were. And then you come into here. Okay, so it's quite a big warehouse. Quite big, you can kind of see how big it is. Just give you a quick look. Got some more graffiti in the walls. And there you go. So let's go and check out some more. Let's go and have a look. Because there's quite a bit more to see. And I just want to give you a chance to see everything. Now we're going to go up the steps. Right, I'm going to go through this way. Bear with me. Sorry, you had a bit of a close-up of me then, sorry. Right, let's go through here. So, that's where we were. Upstairs. Boilers at the top there, downstairs, around the back. We've kind of come through the back and we're now back through. Let's go down this way. Okay. Now then, so you've got like kind of this alleyway. Got like a little room in there, it's quite dark. Bits and bobs in there, it's a bit wet, a bit dark, so we won't go in there. We'll come down this way, take it into here. Ooh, into this bit. Have a look at this. See what you there's not much to see, but have a look anyway. How big is this place? Look at that. It reminds me of DBM Abandoned Factory in Birmingham. It reminds me a little bit like that. It's funny, when you walk in here, you get that kind of really old kind of smell. I think it's probably the only place in the whole of this mill that it smells like this. And I sometimes like to describe to you, as I said before, I sometimes like to describe to you what I can smell other than just what I can see and you can see. Because sometimes smells can add to that kind of atmosphere. But you can probably tell, by the way I'm talking, that this place is enormous. Absolutely huge. You can kind of get an idea. There's nothing much here. There's a room in the corner just there. There's just lots of bits of, I think there's not rubble, but there's stuff in there. Just stuff, believe you me, in there. And you go down, little flight of steps. That doesn't go anywhere. That's just on wheels. That's obviously like your loading bay, if you like, doors at the bottom. Come round. You've got like a partition wall just at the, where has it gone? Just that's it there. And on it, there's like panels of old buttons and stuff like that. But it's a huge, great big area. You can see the metal on the floor. But you can see just how big it is. Pretty big. And then you've got like pipes and gauges and stuff at the end there. That's all that's in here really. Alright? So I'll just give you one last look and then we'll go and have a look at some more. Have another look. See where we are. So there you go. That's kind of what's in here. So let's go and have a look at some more. Let's go and check out some more. Up the stairs. Now it was actually quite nice because today was the first time that I've been to a location that I've actually come across other people doing the same as me. And it was absolutely fascinating. I'm not going to mention their names, but one of them was from Ireland. They now live near Birmingham. I'm not going to say where they live, but there was 3 of them, and they were doing exactly the same as what I'm doing today. And it was brilliant to actually meet other people who've got the same passion and drive as I have. And we had a really good chat, and it was really good to meet them. Let's go into this bit first. Okay, it's a little bit darker in here, and I'm hoping the signal isn't going to cut out. I'm probably not going to go too far in because I really don't want it to cut out, because I don't want it to kind of spoil this broadcast. But we've now come into this bit. So try and make that a bit more thing for you. So sorry, let's turn this way. So we had like the boilers and things at the end. We went round the back, showed you the river. We've come into the two great big warehouse parts, if you like, almost like the largest bit of this mill. Those two great big kind of warehouse sections side by side. So you had like the furnaces and the graffiti. Then we came into the bit a bit closer, if you like, towards the front of the mill, which is that huge, great big area. And we've now come down a bit further, and we're now nearer the front of the mill. Okay, so that the chimney, in fact, is just behind. Well, you can't see it, but it's actually just over there. You can't see it here, but just next door, you can kind of get an idea of the shape of it. So the chimney is kind of just almost up there a little bit. So this is nearer to that now. I know it's dark, but so we've got like an office area. So office area, and we've got if you can see through the window. So you've got like a table with like paperwork, and there's lots of paperwork and stuff on the floor. There's just lots and lots of paperwork. Got like a desk on its side there, an old fire extinguisher on the floor. So you can kind of get an idea as why I want to protect the identity of this place, because there is just too much here that can cause harm, damage, or be ruined. Even though it's demolished, abandoned, derelict, rusty and everything else, I just want to keep it this way. It's best. So it's kind of like a little office in there, just there. And then up that way is just, you can see it's just rubble. There's lots of slate on the floor. You can see the ceiling has come through a little bit, but you can kind of, if you make your way that way, it's mainly just bricks and rubble through there. Okay, so it's kind of, that's what's there. So we're going to come through this bit, and this is where the signal may cut out, and if it does, we'll go back towards outside. I don't think I'm going to go any further than here. Okay, so we'll stay here. Have a look behind me. Check that out. So we've got this massive tank, or I say tank, I mean it's got a motor at the end. It's got a great big motor, and that, I'm wondering if that drove or helped to drive the pressure, the steam, the smoke out through. And I believe it is actually connected to the chimney that's here. So I'm believing that that was used to extract and push the smoke or the steam out through the chimney. That is something. I mean, you can see it's big. If I put my hand, in fact, if I go near it, you can get a more idea of how big it is. So I'm standing next to it, and I mean next to it. I'm going to put my hand on it. Have a look how big. You see that? And that's one big engine, if you like. That is something else. You can see how small I am compared to it. It's huge. Absolutely massive. And just down the side here, you've got all your electrical components, or well, I say components, but what's left of like the electrical panel on the side there. Just there on the side. Let's try and go this way a bit, because there's not much to see. This really is quite abandoned, if you like. You've got these fascinating, I know it's only a chair, but obsolete things. Now, whether that was an original chair, I don't know, but it's there. And to think that if that is one of the original chairs from here, how long that's been here for, how many years that's been sat there for, or it doesn't matter if it's been there or moved to there, how long and how old that chair is. Who sat in that chair? Who were they? I'm taking it for granted it was a him. What was his job? What was his role? What was his name? Where did he live? How long did he live here? Work here for? Just stuff like that. I know it doesn't, it's just a chair, but it's not. It's more than that, because it means something. Somebody sat in it and they worked here, if it's an original one from here. And to me, I find that quite interesting. Anyway, chair. Green chair. So you've got trolleys. So you've got pallets and stuff. You've got like an old, look at that old trolley on its side over there, look. Just there on its side. Now just through there, it's just dark and it's brick, you can't go any further, it's just like a kind of a room. Now I have no idea what would have happened in here apart from the fact that this obviously was where the engine was to drive or push stuff out through the chimney. It's not very professional sounding, but that's pretty, you know, but I don't know what else happened in here. But that's just a dark kind of, it only goes a little bit further and then it stops. You've got some old stuff there, you've got some old doors. Another chair just at the end. And then can you see that tiny little black there? That's an archway. A little archway. Now, I haven't taken a photograph and I'm not going to take you in or over there. It's a tight squeeze. And it's probably best if, you know, it's probably best if nobody probably tries to go in there, I suppose. It's collapsed a little bit, but you can. It's clearly the tunnel that goes just round the corner. So it goes round that way and it actually goes around to the chimney. Now I don't know if it goes into the chimney or whether it just goes as far as the chimney wall, but it does head off in that direction. It's only a very small tunnel, about the size of a person. Now if there wasn't rubble and stuff in there, you could quite easily walk into there. It's quite dark, but you can see, but it goes around to the chimney, to the base of it. So I'm just wondering if there is an entrance or an opening so that you can actually look, or I don't know. I've never seen one before, but how fascinating is that? That little tunnel right into the chimney. And you can't see, but just in there, I think I'm pointing to it, I think it is that bit there. That's the curve of where the chimney is. The chimney is about there, straight up. And that's just the curve of it on the wall. And that tunnel goes around that way. I think it's fascinating. And the chimney's big, trust me, it is a big chimney, but it's fascinating. And then we've just got, you can see how that wall is just collapsed. But you can see how this, see what I mean? It's connected to the chimney there, which makes me think, brilliant. So yes, it was connected, it goes to the chimney. Brilliant. I wish I could kind of take you in there, but it's just a bit too tight squeeze. And quite, you know, I'd imagine it's probably quite dusty and dirty and stuff, and I just you know, anyway, but yeah, goes in there. Fantastic. So we've got like a just little filing cabinet thing there. It's awesome. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, let's go this way. Okay, so the signal's going to be a bit bitty here, so we're not going to go any further. Now, if you go next door, fine, just in there. Okay, so through that doorway, there's a flight of steps. Would have gone up to another level, which I'm assuming would have been in that room there, which is no longer there, but the flight of steps is, and there's what's left of the platform, but we're not going to go through that way. If you go to my right, so I think it's probably right on your screens as well, I'm hoping so. So if you go right, you've just got one or two dark rooms, like shared storage areas, that kind of thing. One of them's got lots of stuff in it, like furniture and just stuff, really. And then you've got this, so if I can show you, I just don't want the signal to cut. Okay, very quickly. So you've got like this, you've got this thing here. You've got this kind of generator kind of thing, this thing here, and it's connected to almost like a boiler there. And then I've taken some photographs. You've got these two brilliant trolleys. I know they don't look much, but they're really old, almost like trolleys, just there. So there really is some fascinating stuff here. Now then, that's this bit. Now I'm going to take you into the other area, and I'm going to show you some artifacts. I'm hoping the signal is going to stay with us, because there are some artifacts that I want to show you. I do want to show them to you, okay? But that's what here. So I'll give you one last look, just so you can kind of see. There you go. And that's looking next door. It's quite, you can see it's quite like, it's more darker here, more kind of like, you can kind of smell, not the rustiness, but you can smell the machinery, if you like, the kind of oily smell. There's a lot of kind of, if I just show you, You see there's like a lot of oiliness and grease and stuff here. You can smell it. It's got that really old smell to it. Anyway, so have you found it interesting so far? Hopefully you have. Hopefully you found it interesting so far. So how's about I take it into the next bit of the building, and then we're going to finish the broadcast, because I've probably been yapping for nearly an hour already, I would imagine. So we're going to go into... We're going to get swiped by the branches. Right. So we are going to go into the last bit. Right. Chimney. There you go. Chimney. Oh, there's another kind of like boiler tank thing, but there's the chimney. Ta-da! Chimney. 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 Okay. So we're going to go that way. Okay, so we've come from up there. So we've come from the back towards the front. So let's go to the next bit. Now, so, right. I'm just trying. Okay, just bear with me, Rob. See, I just kicked you then. Sorry, that wasn't very nice, was it? Okay. Oh, I just got whipped in the. I just got whipped in the knee by a branch. Oh. It literally just bent and like whipped me across the knee, right across the kneecap. Right, okay. This is far from professional, isn't it? Anyway, so we're now looking at the rooms that run across. So there's chimney. Right, let's go. This will be the last bit, and then we're going to finish. So one last bit to show you. And then that'll be it. So we're going to walk across here. We're going to take a look in this last bit of the mill. So we are going to go. No, you're going to have to go. You're going to have to go first. Oh, oh, puncture in the head. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. I kind of clonked you in the head then. Right. So we're going to go. So this is kind of like we're now in the main block. So this is like the very. Just conscious the signal keeps cutting out. So I'm going to try and get this done before it goes. So we just got this room here. This looks newer than the other bit, so I'm wondering if this is, obviously it's still part of it, but it's newer than the rest of it. But we're kind of in a more modern looking part. So it's just empty, so there's nothing really much to see, so it's kind of just like an empty room. So we're going to go around this way. I know, yes, my sister's telling me I always yap. I know. We're back on, we're back on. Whew. Okay, yes, I know. My sister's told me I'm always yapping. I know. Probably yap too much. My apologies. Okay, so I very quickly, as we lost the signal, I've come down into the last bit of this broadcast, which is this place here, which is where most of the, I feel like, artifactual stuff. Now, I'm aware that not everything in here is from, it's not originally from this location. It's been put here. Okay, so I'm not suggesting by any means that everything in here is originally from here, but it's here anyway. But so I'm still going to show you because it's still fascinating to see, because I think it makes the place even more interesting. So I'm going to give you a look. Have a look where we are. So we're now here. And you can see all the stuff that's here. And you know what? It smells. It smells really mouldy and just. Yeah, it's like it's almost got like just smells really mouldy. You can see anyway. It smells really, really damp and mouldy. But this is still part of it. But it's just a more up to date part. But it's still part of it. Anyway, so I'm not even going to attempt to hoover in here because it would take me a long time. And I don't think that would get me very far. One, it's not even plugged in, and two, I ain't even going to attempt to tidy this place up. But anyway, we have a hoover, and then we've got just lots of bits. We've got like a fridge, and we've got other bits over here. There we go. Let's come back on. So we've got this chair, and then because we are losing a signal. Are we back on? Okay. 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 Ooh. Okay. Clearly we're not going to get anywhere. God, that was a nightmare. Right, my apologies for that. Clearly we're not going to get anywhere broadcasting from in there. So what I've done is I've just come out altogether, because there's just no way I could try and fit in anything else. But at least you've got an idea anyway. So don't worry too much. I've taken all the photographs in this location today, as well as photographs of some of the artifacts that are still in there. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm not suggesting that any of them, or maybe just some of them, were originally from here. Maybe some of them weren't. But so don't worry too much. Like I said, I've put all the photographs on my Facebook later today. So I'm just going to come back through here, and then we're going to finish, I think, because we are literally... That's better. Right. Okay, so let's go here. So yes. So you've got a rough idea of what that looked like inside. It's great big kind of, another big warehousey bit. Just furniture and artifacts and different stuff in there. Like I said, I've taken photographs of different things anyway, so don't worry too much. They will be on my Facebook page and website and things later today or tomorrow, so don't worry too much. So my apologies for that. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just go into a particular part of a building or a location and you just keep losing the signal. And rather than lose the broadcast altogether, I'd rather just come away from it altogether, come back outside, live stream to you at least for the last couple of minutes, and then we'll finish. And then at least then we haven't lost, or you end up with 3/4 of a broadcast and nothing else. So I've come back outside, but that really was the last bit of the broadcast anyway, was that great big room with those different artifactual bits in there. I'm sorry if you didn't get a chance to see anything, and obviously how I see the broadcast is not necessarily how you see it, so my apologies if it was all broken and in bits and kind of everything else, but don't worry too much, because it will all be on my Facebook later today or tomorrow. So there we go. That's the end of the broadcast. You'll be pleased to know I will stop yapping, but that is the end of the broadcast. Hopefully you found this interesting, as we ventured into our 27th episode of Influences of the Times to this abandoned mill. Yeah, so hopefully you found it interesting. As always, thank you so very much for tuning in, to everybody, for all your comments, for taking some time out of your weekend to watch this live broadcast, and I do hope that you enjoyed it and found it interesting. I certainly have found this absolutely brilliant. It blew my mind in a way, because I didn't expect to see some of the things that I saw, and I'm so glad I came here, and so glad that somebody recommended. I'm not going to say his name, but thank you so much to you for recommending this place to me. It was brilliant to be here today. So hopefully you found it interesting too. So from me and this abandoned mill, God bless, take care, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I've certainly got a couple of more days off work before I go back next week, so stay tuned, keep up to date. Like I said, you can watch Facebook, YouTube, website. You've got the app now, so you can always download the app as well, free of charge for iPhone and Android, so you'll be able to keep up to date with camera drone photography, and it will give you access to the website and Influences Times, which is this series, so you'll be able to watch everything. Okay, so that's free of charge, and that's on my personal Facebook page. If you just click down a few statuses, download it for free, you'll be able to keep up to date with everything. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm now going to make my way back to get something to eat. So yeah, I'll give you one last look before we go. So as always, thank you so very much indeed for joining me, Influences Times, as we continue to go in search of Britain's most abandoned and derelict places. So stay tuned.